Radical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
If any of you are curious about finding out exactly why ESPN is firing everybody, I talked about it yesterday. Now, if you don't want to go to that upload, I'll briefly summarize some bits of it, but it's a 12-minute long upload, so I'm not going to get into everything about that upload. Stephen A.Smith, in this upload titled "The Bottom Line Never Escapes Us," talks about exactly why just about all the on-air talent, producers, whatnot, were let go from ESPN. And I had this conversation with a couple of friends of mine, and they were talking about, oh, yeah, it's because they hired Pat McAfee. I'm like, no, that's not exactly the reason they're letting go of everybody at ESPN. Stephen A. Smith talks about how they didn't really hire Pat McAfee. He was acquired when they acquired FanDuel, and talked about how Pat McAfee is a product, and how shockingly Stephen A. Smith talks about how he'd like to go from an employee to a product. Almost, daring ESPN to fire him. Almost daring them. Because he wants to go on and he wants to be a product. And you're thinking to yourself, why would you not want to be an employee and be a product? Well, see, if you're an employee, you work for a company. But if you're a product, the thought is you're in high demand if you'd go work anywhere else, but you can do it all yourself. Pat McAfee, from scratch, built the Pat McAfee Show. He was not working for ESPN. He was not working for Fox. We live in a new era where people don't actually have to go get a job somewhere. They can just pretty much get online and just build from scratch their business. Hopefully, years into the future, my business on the weekend will just not be me selling some random stuff at a flea market. I'm developing the skills of sales that I think will take me to that next level in the years ahead. And I would like to actually do something with all the skills that I'm putting forward, But right now, I'm just, biding my time. But different levels to this, of course. I mean, I'm not equating the little bits of money that I make here and there to the millions that these people like Stephen A. Smith, Pat McAfee, and they make and whatnot. But there's many different things I personally have on the table. And I get where he's coming from when you say you want to build yourself into a product, a desirable product, not just an employee of a company where you have to follow their rules. Hell, when you're a product, when you're a desirable product, you can almost make your own rules. And that's a very desirable place to be. He goes into detail about the exact reason Jeff Van Gundy, and then Jeff or Stan? Well, Van Gundy, I forget his first name. Van Gundy, Max Kellerman, all these people were let go from ESPN. Comes down to the bottom line, like he said, which never escapes us. It's all about the bottom line. It's money. It's money. You got to do things. If something's not working in your business, you got to switch it up. My bottom line is important. I keep books, with my weekend business. And guess what? If I'm buying things that are not selling, I have to move off of that. I have to look at what is selling, what is working. I can't make decisions with my business on the weekend. Well, actually, that's going to be bad for the business. It's all about the bottom line. Some of you would say Disney is too big to fail. They have way too much money. Stephen A. Smith says they lost over $5 billion. They're going to feel that. They lost over $5 billion during COVID-19 with losing all the money from the theme parks. You're looking at not just ticket sales, but you're looking at concessions, you're looking at merch, you're looking at all this money that they made there. How do you think Disney had the money to buy Marvel, for instance? It was money built through the decades from the theme parks. That was their major way of making money. You look at it now with the movies. I talked about this all about the bottom line. Indiana Jones. They are not making hundreds of millions of dollars that are going to be lost from just one movie alone in Indiana Jones. Lucasfilm has not been the cash cow for them exactly. Their merchandise. It's collecting dust on the shelves. A lot of the a lot of you would say, like, of course, the woke stuff, the certain toys, certain characters, not selling the merch for the T-shirts and whatnot. How much Star Wars stuff have you seen on clearance and discount? Disney is losing a lot of money. So I guess this is them basically trying to stop the bleeding. Just a little bit. They're going to try to save some money by letting go of a lot of this on-air talent. You don't think they wanted to get rid of a lot of these people because they weren't good at what they do? Fucking Max Kellerman was one of the best on ESPN. And they let him go before, for some reason, that one bitch, what's her name? Malika Andrews? They let Max Kellerman go before fucking Malika Andrews. That's the one the viewers actually wanted to be let go. But they held on to her. I guess she ticks like a lot of boxes for Disney. She's a female. So, there's, they let go females and everything, but, she's a darker skinned female. So I guess they wanted to keep her. I'm not sure. Stephen A.Smith says that he's not safe. But I think he knows he kind of is safe. And this is the one thing I'll kind of push back on. I think Stephen A. Smith knows that unless he really, really, really tries, they're not going to let go of him because he brings in a lot of ratings. Stephen A. Smith brings in a lot of ratings for the network. Without Stephen A. Smith, some people would say there is no longer an ESPN. That's just how huge of a ratings draw he is for that network. Very important, very key to what they do. So unless he just starts making a lot of trouble for them, and with his YouTube channel, maybe he'll start calling them out more, and maybe he's trying to goad them into letting him go. Maybe he wants to go, like he said, because he wants to go and switch from being an employee to being a product. In general, if you see somebody talking about how they could be let go from a company, unless they just don't care, they kind of know that they're safe. You might have a job right now where you're going to work and somebody's going around like, next thing they could let me go. It means they know they're not going to let them go. If they were worried they were going to be let go and they wanted to keep their job, believe me, they would be very quiet. So Stephen A. Smith says it's not all the cuts. There's a second slew of cuts coming to ESPN. And that's what I wanted to talk about briefly here. Also, he talked about Chick-fil-A, the decision they make. He talked about Bud Light and the transgendered person on the can. And look at Bud Light, right? The connective tissue of all this is if you make the decisions to, I would say, just, get very into the gender identity stuff and the gay, pro, anti-gay, transgender. If you make the decisions, other than basically just, having like a little bit of a support or just saying, hey, you know what? I support people of all different nationalities, all different skin colors, unless you just put out those statements and say, we support everyone in this community, that community, you can make those blanket corporate statements, right? I think all the companies right now, basically they'll come out and say like, hey, we're not against trans people. Hey, do whatever you want to do. There's a difference between putting out those corporate statements and, in the case of Bud Light, putting a transformer on your fucking can and having that horrendous picture being shown everywhere around online. There's a difference there. Making someone a brand ambassador is a difference. Now, in Disney, swinging back around, a lot of the problem came with the Don't Say Gay bill, which I don't know the details of, but people were calling for Disney to not support that or come out strongly against that. If you're Disney and you're losing money, here's what you do. You just say, we don't give a fuck. We are here to sell Mickey Mouse t-shirts. Fuck you. Fuck everything all of you want. You want us to be pro this, anti this, anti that. Fuck all of you. We are running a business. This is good advice for every business, both large and small. on the weekends when I'm selling video games, do you think I want to put a pride flag in front of my table? Now, I personally have nothing against gay people, lesbian people, you know. I know some really cool gay and lesbian people, right? But do you think I'm going to put a flag in front of my fucking desk? I'm not. Table, sorry. I'm not. Because I know it would affect my bottom line. I'm not going to put a rebel flag in front of my desk. Again, table, sorry. I'm at a desk right now, so. I'm not going to put a rebel flag or, anything there that might offend certain people. Now, it's a difference to being here where I'm pretty sure I offend people all the time by just speaking the truth and being myself here on YouTube, but YouTube is really not my business. I just upload just for the craft of it, just 2-in-1, just to YouTube, you know? But if I ever made a decision to turn YouTube into a business, believe you me, lots of things would change. Lots of things. I would not offend anybody. I would be plain Jane vanilla cornflakes. That's how I would be. Just like a lot of these YouTubers that are in the business of YouTube, that are too afraid to offend everybody. Hey, you know, not hating on a lot of you because that's their business. That's how they're building their business. But with me, you know, I keep it 100%, keep it real here as I always have with people. And I just speak the truth, and you know, that's how I am here, right? Do you think I'm this way in my video game selling business? No, not at all. Hey, how are you doing today? You know, Xbox games over there, PlayStation games over there. You know, what kind of game systems do you have, sir? Ma'am? Wait. You are, ma'am. I'll definitely call you ma'am today. You know, just as long as you buy some stuff from me. That's how I am at my business. Business and the bottom line is different from other things. Disney would do well to take my advice. But really, I don't give a fuck about Disney. I hope they just burn to the fucking ground. Oh, we're on fire. Everything's burning now. Oh, fuck. I don't care what happens to Disney. You know, I don't give a shit. But just quit getting into the arena, the arena over here and over here, there. You know, quit getting into all the conversations that people of different factions have, different factions wanting you to support this and not support this. Like I said, quit it. Just focus on selling your fucking merch and your movies. Quit putting all these insufferable feminists in your movies. Quit ruining the franchises. Quit it. Ruin Star Wars. You ruined Indy now. That's Lucasfilm side of it, you know. Quit. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy, for instance, she must have some dirt on somebody at Disney. She must have some pictures. She must know where the bodies are, maybe literally. She might know where the bodies are buried. I can't think of any other reason they didn't fire that bitch years ago. They're losing money. That's the reason everyone at ESPN was let go pretty much. They're losing money. You know, they might hire the janitor to do some on-air stuff. I'm not sure. They'll be getting some cheap labor. Maybe they're going to make a call down to Mexico and bring up some Mexican workers there. That's what a lot of people do that are just needing cheap labor. You know, I am Jose, and here we have the basketball news. I'm not sure. Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.